Okay. So, run it by me again. You're thinking of having a podcast, right? But maybe you don't know how to start a podcast, or maybe you don't know what platform to be on. I know. There's a lot. But maybe you also don't know what kind of budget you'll need, right? Okay. Well, how about this? 216 Creator Studios. Ring a bell? Okay, well, here. There you can buy a pre-built show. Or, better yet, you can build your own show. Have all the creativity in the world. And the best part about that, it can be all done within your budget. So, no worries. How about this? Start here. Just go to 216creatorstudios.com. And I guarantee you, they will help you find your voice.
Welcome back to another great episode here at the Stories of the Paranow. Hey, listen, if you like what you see here today, make sure you hit that old YouTube channel, 216 Creator Studios. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I love how you guys do that. I'm not that coordinated. Like, share, subscribe, ding that bell for the future notifications. We appreciate your support today. I don't know. They might be giants.
That might be,
but
probably not.
Probably never know.
What are your thoughts, guys?
All right.
Let's talk about giants.
All right.
First of all, hello. If you haven't, if you're new here, my name is Tyler. It's nice to meet you.
Oh. He likes long walks on the beach.
I do candlelight dinners.
He makes excellent pasta.
I do. Very good. Anyway,
I'll date you if you make good pasta.
We were talking last month. We were talking about the pyramids, and somehow,
because giants built the pyramids.
So we got on the topic of giants, and so I've noticed that this is sort of it's not the first thing that people think of when they think of the paranormal. You think of ghosts first, you think of aliens first, you think of
frankly, giants fall more under like the fantasy ideas. So like when you're thinking fairy tale, you're like, oh, Jack and the Beanstalk,
Dragons.
Well, I mean,
but here's the funny part, right?
Yeah.
Not really. If you spend any amount of time looking into this sort of thing, and especially looking into the conspiracy side of the paranormal, which I have been doing for this, you will find giants fucking everywhere. This is the type of thing that people have been theorizing about, and people have been convinced about for as long as there have been people.
Yeah.
Like, and all right. So we have some housekeeping right off the bat. This is going to be a little bit of a different style of episode.
All right.
Where what?
We just
Why is everyone staring at me?
Because you're talking. And
Because we're taking in.
We're listening.
Okay.
We're
Guys,
not
for
judging
this
you at
episode, we just don't have a lot of sources that we can put up on the screen and look at, because a lot of the things that we were seeing, all of us kind of went,
A lot of
to
crap,
that.
nonsense.
lot of slop, a lot of AI slop,
Yeah.
a lot of
Well, it looks like you sent me something.
yeah, we did.
That said,
So it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot more discussion based, I think, this time around.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's going to be a little bit less of the, well, is it true? Is it not? Maybe. I don't know. Like,
I think we all have a pretty similar
Yeah,
consensus.
like-
You'll find out at the end.
In some cases, I want it to be true.
and in the beginning and in the middle.
Like-
Yeah, this is crap. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's and there's a lot of interesting things in the crap, and I think there's a lot of really interesting, like, sort of mythological and sociological and anthropological conclusions that you can draw from our constant need to find like
Yeah.
big people that came before us.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot of really interesting things about the human condition, which is sort of where I ended up after all of this. But if you come to the podcast looking for like spooky clips and videos and stuff, we'll have some more for you next month, probably. This is not so much what this one's going to be
Yeah,
about.
this is not the usual.
No.
Sorry about it, but if you want to come along for the ride, I hope you do. Just hop in your
Also,
headphones.
For the record, I had so much fun like researching for this month.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. Like it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one if you like a lot of the more like discussion based stuff. If you like a lot of the more theory crafting, theory trained stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot more of that.
So pop on your headphones, maybe get some dishes done, do some work, or just
Yeah.
sit and relax and just listen. Because we're not really going to have a whole lot to show unless
Yeah.
the producer's pick has some stuff to show.
Make sure you don't forget your tinfoil hat as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's gonna be a lot of conspiracy nonsense.
the theory train is going to be boarded today. That being said, let's start it off with Seabass.
Yeah,
What do you
you
got
wanna go
for us?
with me?
Yeah,
Yes, let's gonna start
yeah,
with
let's
you.
go.
All right. So when it comes to the big things, the mystical things, the things that I want to believe exist, I'm kind of deviating a little bit away from, giant creatures or things that may have existed long ago. Well, my thing may have existed long ago, but it's giant trees that I want to believe existed long ago, specifically two ones, the Devil's Tower
Okay.
and Jugurtha Tableland, which may be a lesser known one, but it's
Tableland?
Say again?
Tableland?
Jugurtha Tableland sounds like a really mediocre psychedelic band from the
Yeah.
60s.
Or an
Like
awesome
they
drag
sound like
queen.
they could have opened up for Santana. You know what I mean?
I still think that's an awesome drag queen.
Like the first band to play at Woodstock.
Yeah, before
Hey,
everything went
everybody,
bad.
don't forget to skip the brown acid. Please welcome Jugurtha Tableland.
Jugurtha, thank
Good
you.
things.
Jugurtha, I'm sorry.
But obviously, Devil's Tower is the one that's probably most famous of people theorizing, long ago, millions and millions of years ago, maybe even billions, that there were these giant trees that populated the earth. And they point immediately to Devil's Tower just because of its popular shape. And unfortunately, I don't have mashed potatoes to recreate it this time. But
This time,
Good thing.
when did you? My God, man! When did you make the Devil's Tower out of mashed potatoes?
You don't?
I had a lot of bad dreams. Anyway, and it's not just that it was, the biggest theory is obviously that a Devil's Tower was once a giant tree, as you can see right above it. But it's not just that. While kind of scrolling,
Mashed potatoes.
yes, while scrolling around through the AI slop garbage, I love seeing the images of the giant animals clawing up it to imply that
Those are
defines
scratch
it.
marks?
Yeah, that defines the scratch marks. So, which is great because it reminds me of the idea that once long ago there were big trees, big animals. I mean, we did have dinosaurs, but we're talking about, and when you guys get into your stuff, we're talking about even bigger, giant stuff that would just kick the dinosaurs to the ground because they felt like it. So, but I mean, just to get to the boring science stuff out of the way.
The science stuff is not boring. I am going to continue to push this agenda. The science stuff is not boring. Anyway,
No, but the stuff that disproves that they were giant trees. So, because going through the research, Devil's Tower, and I didn't know, it's like, okay, how does something like this naturally form? And there are different theories. Obviously that it was a giant tree, but that imagine the area around it was much higher.
Yeah.
And you have this big giant rock, and then slowly over time, it just kind of all of the weaker rocks just whittle away, and then
With the exception of that little area.
because they say that the Devil's Tower was magma that just kind of boiled to the surface and just hardened over millions of years. And so when the lesser rock or the weaker rock rode around it, there stands this giant monument.
Because it's made of
Oh, yeah.
different.
Yeah, and
Okay.
in the Jugurtha tableland, it's not probably magma, but limestone.
So
makes sense.
before we
Am I
move
saying it
into,
wrong?
no.
I don't know.
I wanted because I didn't know if you were going to bring this up because I did a little bit of research on the Devil's Tower too. That's
Yeah.
actually where I started, and I was curious if you were going to bring up some of the native myths, the indigenous myths
Not
of like the giant bear.
No, not the giant barrel. Other than like how it like looks like that with the claw
With the claw
marks and
marks.
the
Yeah.
potential claw marks.
Yeah.
But
I forget the name of the tribe that populated that area. So forgive
Sorry,
me.
y'all.
yeah, in Wyoming, it would have been
Was that Apache territory?
or Comanche or
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say too many because I kept seeing like the name over and over again, but I forgot about it. Like
Yeah.
the who was around that time. But I think it's just
The indigenous people,
the indigenous people,
of,
yeah.
the,
Of that
the
area.
West.
Of
Yeah.
the time.
yeah, of the time.
Sorry, y'all.
But I think I find it fascinating because not just because I mean I remember watching Close Encounters like when I was a small child and it's like, did they land UFOs on this? Is this how we communicate with them and whatnot? And yeah, if there was any place to land that looks just like a big giant thing, yeah, maybe that might be
Like
one.
a giant
Yeah.
landing
Yeah.
strip.
A
Yeah.
giant landing
Yeah,
strip.
that would be UFO shaped.
Like,
Yeah.
that's where the UFOs would land. But
So because I also
sorry.
I wanted to bring up the specific myth of like
Yeah.
there was this giant bear, I believe its name is like Lotho or something like that, and
Okay.
it was chasing a hunting party up the Devil's Tower, and the scratch the marks you can see on the side of it is literally from the bear.
The bear clawing up it.
clawing up to try and get to these people. And
Yeah.
I came across that in my research, and I thought that was super fucking cool.
yeah.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, the kind of theories and surrounding like how it was formed, how it got its look, and like you mentioned, like all the stories of the surrounding area of people who lived there long ago, what it could have been long ago. But I mean, people say it was a giant tree at one point. Imagine how big that damn tree would have been. We're talking like
Yeah.
what first Avatar giant sacred
Yeah.
tree here.
Well, because if you think about like, because I'm going to be getting into a lot of myth in my section,
Yeah.
and so
Thank God.
what this reminds me of is Yggdrasil,
Yeah.
the world tree. This idea of like
Oh, like it's
In
the
a-
thing that gives life.
in a
almost.
lot of religions and a lot of myth, life comes from a tree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And comes from a sort of, and I think that's neat. I think that's interesting, and I think that might play.
No,
Go ahead.
But while like looking into Devil's Tower, that's what took me to Jugurtha, because it's like, okay, the commonality seems to be like it's not just Devil's Tower, it's like other places all over that. It's like, was this a giant tree at one point and there's one scattered throughout the world? And I was like looking at other ones and it's like, they're not as like big, or that's why I said like Devil's Tower and Jugurtha, because they're just the largest mass wise.
Yeah.
And they were both formed the same way. One is just made of possibly dried magma and the other one's limestone.
Mm.
But it's like, yeah, if you were to go back millions, if not billions of years, and these were giant trees and there were ones scattered all over the world, how could they have just like I said, how big are these trees that could have existed this long ago?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what else was roaming around? I think
Do you
What
think that the scale of the trees was indicative of the scale of everything else at the time?
well, that's what I was going to talk about. Have you guys ever heard of the book Transel Saga by
No.
chance by
No.
Gary Paulson? I read this in middle school, and it talks about a kid who was on a camping trip, and then suddenly a blue light transports him to another world. And the way he's describing the land is like everything is not just maybe bigger, but it's just in some cases indescribable. Like he's kind of describing like alternate versions of animals, but not just that they look different, but that they're much larger. And then he's describing like the scenery, the mountains, the trees, the plants, like everything is just
Everything's
bigger
just
and
different.
grander.
Okay.
So it's like, what kind of world did he enter? And there was parallels when I was reading through the Devil's Tower and Jugurtha, like the possibilities, like, okay, if they were bigger, like big giant trees, here's what it would kind of look like. And that's when you get into, crappy AI slop and nonsense, but that remind me of a lot of like that kind of scenery from Transel Saga is like, okay, realistically, what would the world look like if it was full of giants?
Yeah.
If it was full, everything was bigger and just like alternate versions of what we see now.
Well, and there is scientific precedent for that too. Like if you look at the prehistory, it is referred to as megaflora and megafauna
Yeah.
because of how
Much
the atmosphere was, how things work. These sort of precursors to what we have today were much bigger. Like, and so theoretically, it is possible that there were trees that could get that big.
Yeah.
Whether or not the Devil's Tower is one of them, I think there's a little bit less, evidence for.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it is. I think you were saying like, oh, I wish this was true. I think it could be.
I think it totally could have too.
It could. I think it could be there are trees that were that big and would be that majestic to look at and to view.
And I also think because of going into these two particular ones, like they're not even sure how it could have naturally formed. Like there's half a dozen ways. So yeah, throw giant tree into the mix because that's what I want to believe.
Yeah.
And that the world was populated with bigger everything. So big giants, big animals, big trees, big plants. It was just
everything was larger.
Everything was larger.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger in the old prehistoric times, just like Texas.
No.
But
and
okay.
And who's to say that with that tree, if it is a tree, and I also hope that it's just a giant tree, that particular tree wasn't just like an anomaly of the other trees in the area. Like, what if that one would just happen to be significantly larger than the other ones? Yeah. I mean, even nowadays, like redwood trees, those things are huge. I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of someone standing next to one.
Oh, no,
I've seen them in person.
It's scary.
They're
redwood pines are the tallest trees in the world.
Yeah, and their trunks are ginormous. So, like, quite honestly, if someone told me that there was a couple that happened to grow significantly larger than the other ones, I'd be like, yeah.
And I think also that it's important to remember that when you look out into that area now, it's a lot of desert. It's a lot of very barren area. And you might think, well, that's silly that a tree could grow there. You have to remember that these areas were not always this way. Like we don't like, obviously, I mean, it wasn't in the same place of the world at that point, right? Like we didn't have continents. This was like Pangea period. So it can be difficult to remember sometimes that when we look at a place, it may not have looked like that in the period that we're talking about. There's evidence that it could have looked entirely different.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And that kind of goes along with what I mentioned earlier about how if they were, how they were kind of, or the theories that how they were naturally formed, that, I mean, the elevation was up to the top of Devil's Tower and Jugurtha, and it just slowly eroded over time. And there you just get this big, giant monument that stands.
So just to chime in for a minute, so I'm going to pop this up. So there are several theories here, right?
Yeah.
And there are four formation theories. There's going to be words in here I can't even pronounce. But listen, 50 million years ago, this is what it's saying on the land surface here. So you got your stock theory. Anybody want to tackle that word? That'd be kind of cool.
What?
Laccolith.
Yeah, Laccolith seems right.
Volcanic plug theory.
Ew.
And
I didn't like that combination.
Theory.
Stop it.
It's got a flared base, Miley. It's fine.
It's someone here has
it is very phallic.
And so listen, just like any rock, right, through millions and millions of years, it erodes. And if you actually look at the top of this, it's kind of flat.
Yeah.
So water's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And through many years, it finds these path of resistance and starts creating these tiny columns that look like scratch marks. So the science of it,
cool.
The science of it kind of explains it.
It fucking rocks. That's awesome. And so here's
a rock that rocks.
And here's
rock on.
Here's something that I wanted to make sure that we got to, right? With the Devil's Tower. Because the minute that you start looking into this stuff, it's like, well, they don't want you to know about the giant trees and the giant. They're covering up our real history. They're keeping it for you. And I do just have one question. To what fucking end? In what world is it like, oh, we need to keep these big trees secret from people? It doesn't make any goddamn
Don't let them know about the
Don't let
redwoods.
them know about the big trees.
Not the big trees.
Store that information right next to the old dragons.
Yeah,
And,
like there are
Mine's got a dragon belief there.
there are conspiracies that make sense. There are conspiracies where it's like, yes, I can believe that a world government would want to keep this from people.
It would just raise more questions.
Yeah, but I can even get the alien.
It's fun.
I can even get the alien thing. I can even get the like, well, this would cause a panic. Giant trees would not cause a panic.
Like what would the issue be? Unless this tree literally provided like an extension of life, who cares?
Well, then they're like, well, where else did giant trees exist? Where's this list of giant trees and why did it disappear?
That's a cool question, and I would like to know the answer. But it's one of those things where, like, scientists have come out and been like, "Yeah, this probably wasn't a big tree. This probably wasn't a big tree." And Drew just gave the actual scientific explanations, and then people are like, "No, they're lying to us. They're lying to us about the big trees." Why?
Well, there's so
and it raises
listen,
more questions
because there are a lot of things out there that we are being lied to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to take the average Joe and say, hey, let's mix in reality with fantasy and really confuse everybody. Let's wag the dog, right? And kind of take it to that part. But, I mean, listen, the theory of it being claw marks are cool.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about that, right?
Especially when you see the images of
Let's
how
take the
it looked.
imagination to the next level. The claw marks, it could have been, the big tree. Right? It could have been giants. It could be the leg of a giant. I don't know. Anybody here that was around 50 million years ago that can explain anything like that? No. Right? But I can tell you this, several thousands and hundreds of thousands of years back, when we saw an asteroid, it was a sign from the gods.
Yeah.
But now it's just a fucking asteroid.
Yeah.
Because
now it's space rock.
Correct.
That rock
Which is still cool.
by.
Still cool.
It's
but just in a different fashion.
Yeah.
And this kind of ties into what I'm going to get into later, because a lot of it is I genuinely do believe that this conspiracy culture of like, well, we don't understand it, so it must be aliens. We don't understand it, so it must be giants. To me, it really is the secularization of the idea of, well, we don't understand it, so it must be God. It is the new sort of thought terminating cliche for people that don't believe in God but still don't want to have to like.
Well, let's just so here and I've said this before, and I think you agree with me on this. Things you can't explain is just science we haven't discovered.
Yes,
that's all it really is. Is God a science? Yes, of course it is.
Yeah.
The belief of it. Now, listen, I come from I'm the son of an ex-nun.
Yeah.
The magical stories that are from the Greek book that are out there. And I'm not talking about Harry Potter. I know you got excited there, Seabass. But to me, love it. To me, it's
just J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, we don't support that here.
Yeah, let's not sue 216 Creator Studios for that one. But listen, that book is just as valid to me.
Yeah,
is the other one, right? So I want to say that even though it's unexplained or things that are unexplained, we just haven't realized or figured it out yet, and it is what we consider science.
Well, it's just people who don't want to think about things. It's people who want to like throw up their hands and be like, it's all a mystery.
It's magic.
It's magic. Yes,
right.
That's and before it was aliens, it was God, and before it was God, it was magic, and before it was magic, it was whatever. There's always something that people who have no interest in how the universe works use to sort of to make you feel stupid for wanting to learn about it.
I don't think that's entirely true, though, because some people use that to explain it to themselves.
Right.
Like there are
Mm.
people who genuinely believe that magic is real and that that's how they explain the universe.
Well, did you know if you got bitten by a radioactive spider,
Yeah.
That you become Spider-Man?
you would have
Yeah.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
ish,
Yeah.
or dead. I don't know.
So I do agree.
They'll probably be.
I do agree that there
But
are
hey,
definitely
sometimes maybe you are Spider-Man.
yeah. But I do agree that there are definitely people who default to it to wave away having to any responsibility of looking into anything else. But I think that there are people who they genuinely believe it.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
no,
so,
you're right.
so let's go half and half here, right?
Yeah.
T-Bone, I totally get what you're saying, man, and because it's hard to argue with logic, and that's logical.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I do not want to dismiss the fact that there could be aliens, that there could be all these things, and now how hard is it to figure out because AI is generating that? You watch TikTok, you see all these orbs. Is that real? I don't know, right? All I can tell you is this: unless it's in front of you and you can tangibly touch it,
Right.
feel it, sense it, know it, then it's hard for you to understand that it's real or not. So you have to make a judgment call.
Yeah.
Is it, there's so much, since we have gotten the interweb,
Mhm.
everything has blown up into a giant conspiracy period.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
what is hard to believe? Is there such thing as magic, T-Bone? Maybe.
Yeah.
Also, science we haven't figured out yet.
Wow.
Once again, is it considered magic on how atoms work? You go down to the labs here. What labs is that over there where they run the test where they run atoms at like thousands of miles?
Oh, you're talking about the Large Hadron Collider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
don't know-
can't remember the name of the
I
lab.
don't know what lab that's in, but yeah, the Large Hadron Collider.
The fact that we could do that, or the fact that we're able to clone anything, is a magic.
Yeah.
And it's just science that we figured out. Magic is now science, right?
Yeah.
So I
You're
get it.
You're not listening to me right now. You are listening to a ghost. You are listening to a recording that took place when we recorded it, not when it was,
Right.
If you're watching live, it's a little different, but like I'm not speaking to you right now.
Right.
That is magic.
That is magic.
That is a kind of magic.
But even before the mirror was invented,
Yeah.
you saw your reflection. Was that magic? I saw it. It was just me. It looked just like me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was you. Now we know that. Right.
Yeah.
Now it's in everybody's house, and it's the common tool of everyday life.
Yeah.
Right. The fact that you can go home and lift up the handle on the water spigot and watch water come through to your sink, which we take granted of.
Yeah.
All the time. That back then, if you took a person from way back when and put them in your house, they would be like, "This place is filled with."
Yeah, this is what people mean when they say to romanticize your life. By the way, these are the things that not to get on my soapbox, but God, I've done it long enough. Why stop now?
You don't have a chair; you have a soapbox.
I have a soapbox. I'm sitting on a soapbox right now. But this is there's really cool shit all around you. That if you're feeling down and you're feeling like nothing can work out for you, there's stuff to like fall in love with and to look and to find wonder in everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's fucking cool.
That's awesome.
So good job there, Seabass.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I love that. But we're gonna move on to our next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's up? My.
Tis I.
My.
Yeah. So I guess first, before we start things, I kind of just want to set a definition for giants because I don't quite understand what really defines a giant, to be completely honest, because I keep seeing a bunch of different things. So I just want to set a level,
You're putting
standard.
a spectrum out, right?
Yeah, I'm putting a spectrum out there.
What we're talking about.
I mean, I'm
with
5'5".
giants.
Everything is a giant. But when I stand next to T-Bone, I'm like, giant.
Oh my
A
God,
gentle
look at
giant.
him. Look at him. So from what I have seen on what I looked into, a giant is from the, because quite honestly, most of the stuff I found was from the late 1800s. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
Lots of newspaper clippings. We actually linked that below. How credible the sources are they're just like little clippings from newspapers from way back when. So like, you know, do with that information what you will. We'll get into that later.
Is that the information you sent me?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
I have that up if you want to put it.
Perfect.
Let me know and I'll put it.
Sure. But a lot of the things that I found from then, a giant was kind of someone that just fit more into like the 7 foot above
That one's mine.
range. Yeah, there it is. The 7 foot and above range. So like back then, people were significantly shorter than they are now. Like significantly shorter. Drew would have been tall.
Oh. I'm the basketball star of that.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
So everything that I have seen and that I will be talking about is kind of just referring to someone of that range. Now that's absolutely normal to see nowadays. Like all of my friends are like 5'11" and above, with the exception of maybe like 3 of them. Even my dear friend Jackie, who's in the studio with us today. Hi, Jackie. It's like, hey. Thanks for covering me on the last
You might remember
episode.
Jackie from last month's episode about the pyramids.
Yeah, when I was dying.
Oh yeah, Miley came back to life, by the way.
Yeah.
I am alive.
You want to talk about magic? Yeah, that's why she's here.
Well, I mean, listen, when you go to the gas station to eat sushi,
Yeah.
I didn't go to the gas station to eat sushi. I didn't go to the gas station to eat
You
sushi.
might as well have.
I mean, that's kind of right in that realm. Like, hey, let's do oysters. It's 112 degrees outside, and it's only been sitting on no ice for the last 3 hours. That's a great idea. Put a little
It's 7
champagne
p.m.
on top of
Friday.
that.
It's 95 degrees, and apparently I'm going to be eating oysters.
I believe in magic, and my Lord and Savior, Cthulhu, Eater of Worlds, promised I'd be okay, and it was a lie. Anyway, but
Cthulhu, devourer of good judgment, apparently.
Cthulhu the madman, help us, save us.
so today mine is going to be relatively short, but today I'm just going over the Pittsburgh, Kentucky founding of a giant, and more specifically, a tomb that was found that held a giant.
Okay.
So, on June 1886, I told you it's all like late 1800s. Yeah. There in Pittsburgh, Kentucky, they were doing work by the Ohio River. I didn't quite see anything about what exactly they were digging for, but they were excavating a part of land that they needed for, I think it said either like farming, building, you know, this was like industrial time. So they could have literally been anything at that point in time. But while they were excavating the land, they found a tomb. And I mean that pretty literally. Like they found a skeletal remains of someone who's 7'2" with like ornamental jewelry and like arrowheads and a bunch of stuff that is very indicative of like a Native American burial site.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there were no pictures taken of it. Just like 30 people who
Whoa.
saw it though and were recounting it and trying to get something
Well, this was the
moving.
1800s. Like,
Yeah,
photography was, not
pretty
in
limited.
its infancy.
Yeah, nobody was gonna drag the tripod out and do.
do like put the cloak over them.
They could have done the charcoal rub.
Yeah.
Bill, don't take a selfie with the giant camera in front of
Give
the
me
skeleton.
10
Yeah,
minutes.
I was gonna say, yeah, give me an hour and I can get.
I can get the selfie.
Yeah.
So 7'2". So, you know, relevant to today, there's a lot of 7'2" people.
There are plenty of people. Just look at anyone in the NBA.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Literally the NBA.
that's just Nikola Jokic.
That's just Shaq.
Yeah, literally. Which is super normal nowadays. But back then, people were like, average height was like around 5 foot.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Don't need the giant much.
Yeah.
He was like, I was born in the wrong generation.
I'm no longer a short king. I'm just a king, baby.
That's right. I'm not a Napoleon king.
Napoleon was average height nowadays too. Actually,
No,
he was
I
like 5'6".
He was
He
5'7".
was actually taller than me.
Yeah.
5'5".
It's not a Napoleon complex anymore. It's a Drew
I
complex.
grew the wrong way. Outwards, not upwards.
But yeah, so that's not a super weird height for us nowadays. But back then, that was super freaking tall.
Giant.
That was
Yeah.
super freaking tall. And, you know, it was just like it was seen as like a very strange and like it was a spectacle
Yeah.
because you found a giant person, or at least this giant skeleton with ornamental jewelry, arrowheads in a tomb, a decorated area for this person to rest.
Yep.
And when they went back to the site, lo and behold, gone. All of it.
Whoa.
Gone.
Really?
Yeah, just gone.
Like somebody snagged it, gone, or
Like everything
the
in
rock
there.
rolled away
So
and it rose
was
from
the
dead.
tomb still there?
The tomb was still there,
Okay,
but
so the tomb
everything
was empty.
within it
Okay.
gone, just disappeared. And the thing that I found and why I provided the kind of sketchy source was that at this point in time, that was super common. There were several newspaper clippings. This is basically just a website that has the date, what happened, where it was across America in around like 1880 to like the early 1900s of newspaper articles covering giants being found or skeletal remains of giants being found or like evidence of it, and then it disappearing.
And it's a Wix site.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can tell that it's legit
Like-
because it was built on Wix.
Totally.
It's
Totally.
100% real.
Totally.
They didn't even build it on Canva.
They didn't need a
Not
fact
even
check.
Canva.
You don't need a fact check
They didn't even
anything.
use
No, but I did see like actual. I couldn't find the source. I forgot to save the tab. That's my bad. But I did find like the actual newspaper clippings where I like
Yeah.
got to read it from
Okay.
like the actual thing. And from the there were like 4 that I cross referenced to this. They were like pretty verbatim what the actual clipping said. But I just thought it was interesting that at this point in time, there were like around the same time period, there were many instances where someone found something and then it suddenly disappeared mysteriously.
Yeah.
Now, this one in particular was there are a couple different theories that run with this one. All aboard the theory train.
Choo choo, bitches!
I swear we'll get one soon, guys. I
We gotta get a
promise.
train whistle.
What? How'd you get that recording of me? There are a couple different theories for this one. The first one being, and I noticed this with a lot of the other ones too, to be completely honest, is that Native Americans took back the skeletal remains. And I'm going to walk on this as gently as possible because I don't actually know all that much about this particular culture. But in this specific area that this tomb was found, the Adena culture was very prevalent. And they are particularly known for their burials.
Yeah.
And it was set up in the same way that they would have set theirs up.
Sacred.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the theories is that this just happened to be a tall person
Yeah.
who was elite or was significant in that culture, and they buried them.
Probably a pretty good hunter if he's
Probably.
that size.
Warrior,
Probably.
hunter,
Probably.
chief.
Yes.
Probably like a warlord. Because if
Something.
you can literally tower over your
Oh,
enemies.
Literally.
It's
Like
usually
you
based
just,
off of your height or your like.
Just-
Yeah,
yeah.
and if he's that much bigger than everyone,
he
around
probably
him,
just had to
Yeah,
appear.
like a foot and a half.
might have been treated as a deific figure,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
Might have been treated as a walking god, maybe,
got him
or a spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So the theory
Unless it's their Lenny. You know what I mean?
yeah, could be.
yeah. But he was decorated pretty ornamentally.
Tell me about
So-
the bison, George.
So the assumption is that he was pretty significant in that culture.
Yeah, the more
Yeah.
they decorate, yeah.
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 Fact,
Yeah,
you are,
they're
right?
not just they're not just doing that for any old Joe
Right.
schmo.
The pharaoh rule.
Yeah, pretty much. And honestly, if you look a little bit deeper into like how they did their burials, it's really freaking interesting. I highly suggest reading into it. But it had a lot of similarities to how they would have done their rituals.
Okay.
And so the theory there is that they took back
Hell
what was
yes.
theirs, which quite honestly, God, I hope so.
Yeah.
Good.
God, I hope so.
Get to it before the colonizers can steal it. Absolutely.
That's right.
God, I hope so.
Belongs in a museum.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you
It
know
belongs with the tribe.
That's right. Belongs with the people.
Yeah.
That's Seabass.
Let him take it back. And then this one is a less boring one, but along the same vein,
That one wasn't boring.
no,
it's good.
Boring is
I'm gonna
awesome.
keep banging this fucking drum until we stop saying it.
no, I'm saying that
Something isn't paranormal doesn't mean it's boring.
I didn't say that. I was saying that this one is less interesting. Jesus. Anyway,
T-Bone's in rare form today.
yeah, he's very very fighty today.
Got his battle axe out and everything.
Yeah, I know.
He's ready for war.
He's sending me a note of war. Like, we're supposed to meet on the football field later today.
He's like, I dare you to prove any paranormal to me. That's why it's called Paranow.
Yeah.
Because this is the belief of today.
Yeah.
Right?
But this one, the reason why I say this theory is a little bit more boring is because General Grave Robber Gabe, just some guy took the stuff.
I like
That's
the
it.
name.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
You just outed him.
Grave
Grave
robber
robber
Gabe.
Gabe.
Yeah.
I will be referring to any
Okay.
grave robbing theories as
I'm
that.
sorry,
I
I
saw
can't.
that.
I've been watching too much Food Network recently. So the minute you said the Triple J, I was like, Gabe's Grocery Games.
Yep. He also doubles in grave robbing. You have to
Hey
make.
everybody, I'm Guy Fieri, and we're rolling out looking for America's greatest graves, and graves.
Can you make a Michelin star meal out of things you find in a cemetery?
Oh, yeah, he sure can.
Oh God.
Oh.
Ask me how I know.
Oh my God. But yes, so there is a
Probably
theory.
find some really good fungi around there.
I wouldn't
probably
trust
fun.
to eat those. No. Granted, regular like bell mushrooms are grown on horse poop, but I still don't trust those.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're good. I don't even know if I'm real still, but I mean, that was about a month ago.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Ego death at its finest. But yeah, this one is just like someone went in, they took the stuff and like ran off with it, which honestly pretty feasible. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that happens so often in history where someone was like, "That's cool, mine," and it's and that's the end of it. And everybody's like, "Where'd it go?" Like, what?
they didn't even have a truck to back up that. I was like, back up your horse and carry it.
You know, like grab as many things as you possibly can
Okay,
and just
Jimmy, you
book
got to
it.
be very discreet. Like, make sure the horses don't get out of control.
Like, make sure
and
you
just run off, and we're
You
just
had
sitting
one
there
job.
like,
Also, like, how long did it take them to come back?
yeah.
So it's like
Honestly.
it could be a few days, it could be a week. You give me a week, I can get a grave.
Traveling, right?
You give me a week, I can get a grave empty. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Absolutely.
Within days.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Another one, which is also and honestly, I think it's pretty valid too, especially considering how many newspaper articles that I've seen. It was yellow journalism at its finest. Now, for those of you who aren't aware what that is, and I'm not saying that because I think anyone's stupid, I'm saying that because I don't know what it meant at first too.
I just like to say things out loud.
Yellow journalism is exaggerated journalism that, especially at this point in time, people would make just so that they could get people to read their newspaper. That's it.
think of like clickbait
Yeah.
for the old age.
Old age clickbait.
Ye old
Yeah,
clickbait.
Old-timey
Yeah.
clickbait.
Ye old clickbait.
The old
And much like modern clickbait, it would occasionally lead us into catastrophic wars.
Yes.
And
Yes.
back then, you could say things like you consume a satchel of Richards.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Give me your goat.
Yeah. Ye old.
Yo,
libel and slander out the window.
It was crazy. But so that is something that came up, and it is a theory that is discussed when referring to this topic, because it was very real, and it still is very real to this day. Make sure you do your research, I say, as I put a sketchy link in the description with
Wix
a
article.
Wix
let me share my
article.
Wix site with you.
Yeah,
I
.wix.com.
think I made my first portfolio on Wix.
I did too.
Yeah, so did
If I was promoting a Wix can send a check to info at sixth graders.
Yeah. Please send us your stuff. We'd love to cover anything from you guys. The other one is like aliens. That I mean, I feel like every theory leads to aliens.
Yeah.
But this one in specific is because the skeletal remains seemed a little less, like it wasn't exactly just like large human. Like the skull was thicker, the jawline was thicker, but
Like deformed or
just like it, not necessarily deformed. It didn't look like it was a mistake.
a natural
it just
like
it looked,
human skull.
yeah.
Okay.
It like the head was larger, but quite honestly, I think if someone is getting to that size, like they're probably going to have different growths in different areas. I mean, if we look at Andre the Giant, he had a big head, just in general.
Well, and too. I mean, listen, back then, you had Auntie Mom and Uncle Dad.
Yeah,
There's a lot of same breeding, same puppy farm.
Also, depending on how far back this goes, this may have been like, and depending on how intricate the burials were, like this may not have been a Homo sapien. This because there were other types of prehistoric sort of Neanderthal human like
humanoid
creatures that have slightly different physiology that died out over time.
Yes.
So it is possible that because I came across some stuff like this in the research of like there being like a precursor to humans that existed, 10 million years ago or something like that could get up to 10 feet tall. And a lot of the bones, like a lot of the giant bones that people have found, modern archaeology has shown to be, this is this sort of humane like precursor. It's sort of like people talk about the missing link between sort of the ape and the human.
Yeah.
And we're actually starting to make a lot of strides into finding out what that might be.
Yes.
So take a look into that. It's very interesting.
Super interesting stuff. But yeah, that is essentially what I think that one is. I'm all about aliens, but I don't think this is the case.
It wasn't too like out of sorts.
No,
it just looked like
Watch it be the only real alien thing that we talk
Yeah,
about.
I know.
I'm kidding.
But since we don't have any photographic evidence of the actual skeletal remains, we only have artistic recreations of it. I don't think it's very valid to chalk it up to aliens. Now, this last one is my favorite. And other than the Native Americans taking back their stuff, I hope that was true. And we're going to have to put a big ol' sprinkle of allegedly on this one.
Allegedly.
Sprinkle the alleged on there.
I don't know if I have a noise for that.
No, we don't.
Allegedly.
But
every time we say it plays the drum piece.
As a joke in Minecraft. Yeah.
In Minecraft, Steve and stuff. Anyway, this is all one big Smithsonian cover up.
Do you want to put on the tinfoil hat?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Crown her. Crown her. Crown her.
No, so the theory here is that since there were so many discoveries and spottings of specifically remains and artifacts alluding or proving giants are real, and a lot of them disappeared or just went missing or weren't actually looked into, and none of them ended up in museums, people have theorized that the Smithsonian, the freaking Smithsonian, went through and stole all of the remains to cover up so that scientific evidence for what they believed in wouldn't be disproved.
Wow.
Can we go back to about maybe like 20 minutes or so into the podcast?
Sure.
I don't want to yell again. I don't want, but
we'll just replay.
I'm having a hard time taking her seriously with that thing.
To what end? To what ends? Again, if we could clip that and put that on the soundboard, I think it'll be useful later. Just me screaming, to what end?
Well, this is where I just mute your microphone.
But yes, Sebastian.
No, I was going to say, so I just want to make sure I got that right. So they stole Oh, that's stole.
No,
They-
supposedly they robbed
Oh boy.
They robbed the remains of
any giants.
okay
No.
that they couldn't identify or prove what it was, right?
Yes, for
This
their
is the
own agenda.
Smithsonian.
This is the
This is
Smithsonian,
not like-
supposedly.
They're
This is not
like,
they're
these
not
don't
that
belong
big
in-
of an organization. To be
They're
able
like
to
these don't belong in a museum.
Yeah.
So
The theory, though.
so
Yeah.
Here we go. Hold on. Take a sip of water. You got water?
Or are you about to
Why?
like launch into the stratosphere here?
I'm being very calm and very understanding right now.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they have an agenda, Tyler.
'Cause it's
Obviously.
cool. It's more fun
What
that way.
is the agenda?
To hide the magic.
I
To control the
want
narrative,
to
to control
know
you,
what the agenda
to
is.
control you,
All I
control
want
the
to know is
media,
why.
If you,
because they felt like it.
if you control the giants, you control the universe.
Yeah,
You
man.
control. You have the power.
Yeah, I have the power to tell you. You have to trust me.
He's got it on like he's like, I'm gonna convince you of everything.
I'm just gonna
What
get
giants? And it's like the stupid little toddler is like, Mommy, where did the giant bones go? And the next day it's like, oh, that kid is stupid. He didn't see nothing.
That's right.
Yeah. So
So where are they hiding all of the giants?
In the basement, in the Disney vault.
you know where the agenda is. I don't
Yeah, with
know.
Walt Disney's frozen head. Why the
I'm
fuck
pretty
not?
sure it's under the Vatican Church.
Yeah.
It's in that fucking sub basement where they have all the gold.
That's right.
Yes.
Gold.
Funny enough, it's actually Grave Robber Gabe doing this.
And it is guarded by dragons.
And somehow it's the Jews. It's all their fault.
Oh my god.
Somehow.
It's in Area 51.
Yeah.
Somehow,
And-
yeah. Well, I mean, listen. I like where you went with it. You obviously, pinched a nerve on T-Bone. But you're right. You're right. That should be at least put out there. Listen, T-Bone, let me give you the benefits of this. Okay, let me give you the benefits.
Please enlighten me.
By her letting everybody know, it's letting everybody know how stupid that sounds. So we're creating awareness here. We're actually saving lives. By creating, good job, Mike.
I am simply reporting.
Love it.
I am not saying
After a Prozac milkshake later for T-Bone.
I can pull out my Prozac. I still have another half an hour. So
We're 52 minutes in, so we're gonna have to move on to.
Yeah, we are. But
Go on.
Collect your thoughts
Go
in
ahead,
your
say it.
tinfoil hat.
Use your words.
I simply wanted to put all of the theories out there, as I like to do.
Mm.
And that one is simply my favorite because or one of them, the second favorite, because it is so funny to me. And that is all. I do not think it has any merit. I do think that it is very funny that is the conclusion that somebody came to.
thank you, Miley. I really value our friendship, and I really do. I think.
I'm gonna hear about this on the car ride home.
No, no.
I mean, at least you didn't like spontaneously combust.
Oh yeah,
I
That's a
got
positive.
close.
he almost did.
I got
He
close.
almost
I assure
did.
you.
I didn't know
Almost
what was going to happen. Miley of laughter or you of anger?
Am I a troll right now? Oh my god!
But I thought somebody was going to explode. And I'm like,
we're
welcome back to the podcast by myself because they blew up.
They
For
died.
some reason, there's an army being built out there right now because there's a lot of believers of the myth that are forming an alliance against T-Bone. Because they're going to be like, this guy is speaking way too much information. That makes
This
sense.
guy's so
Stop
science.
making sense,
You know
T-Bone.
too much.
This guy
He
is so
knows
science.
way too much. Next
Anyway.
episode. Welcome to the show.
Anyway,
Yeah,
let's
no,
move on.
He carted off.
Tyler has some awesome stuff to share with us.
Are you guys ready for some factual information?
Yeah.
Big museum is coming for me. Yeah,
Museum.
big.
The Smithsonian Knights are after you
Yeah,
now.
yeah, the Knights of the Museum Templar.
It's a museum show and you beat me to it.
Yeah,
If we don't hear from them again in the next 2 weeks.
Save the day.
Oh,
And then a tiny Owen Wilson's gonna help out too.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So Drew, for mine, would you mind? It's a little bit further down the page.
Okay.
Could you get to the part about the this is actually a pretty good read. It's about 6 minutes. I enjoyed it. I was looking at it last night. If you wouldn't mind getting down to the part where it talks about the square cube theory.
Did I pass it?
Oh, this one isn't the one with the square cube theory. That's fine. Oh, it does? Okay.
Did I miss it? Okay.
Yep, there it is. The square cube law. Yep. This is what I want.
there we
This
go.
is what I want to bring up.
Good
So
eyes.
this is why this is the scientific explanation of why a being with human proportions and a human body could not grow to the size of the giants that we see in like myth and folklore.
like the size of
Yes.
a building.
So it's called the square cube law, and
Unless for aliens.
Isn't that kind of
what it says essentially is as a creature's size increases, its volume and therefore its mass grows faster than its surface area for humans. This like basically your organs keep growing as you keep getting bigger, but your bones stay the same size. Like you can't. This is why people with gigantism pass away at an early age, because their body can't keep up with the rapid growth. It's why that people who have gigantism have to have a surgery to have their growth hormones stunted, because your body physically cannot keep up with, and that's why it's called the square cube law, where it's like if you stretch out a square, like it distorts and you can't keep it properly contained.
It can't infinitely grow.
Yes.
There's only so much space that you can.
Now, I've been doing this show with these people a little bit now, and I can hear it already because I had the thought myself. If these giants did exist, who is to say that they had the same physiology as human beings do now?
Yes.
This
is exactly I don't have an answer for you, because frankly, yeah, there could, because we know how evolution works. We know that beings evolve in order to maintain, in order to adapt and survive. Who is to say the giants could not have adapted something or some method around it? Some extra hormone where it's like where it keeps their organs and stuff growing proportionally.
Sure.
It could have happened potentially. I don't know.
So we're talking humanoid style figure here, right? So I mean, listen, I can go along with that to a certain degree, because listen, dinosaurs were ginormous.
Yeah.
And their bodies and their DNA were built in a certain way to enable to contain that. Now there's nothing to say that, and no record of a humanoid that was of that proportion, like the baby being the size of a semi.
Yeah.
Right. And so could that be? Yes. Is that possible here? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I want to say that it dictates based on what we have seen out there. We don't have records that go past a certain point in this world.
Yeah.
Now this planet's been in how many ice ages, right?
Yeah.
So could there have been? Yes, there's a probability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is it possible that our humanoid was of a great proportion? Possibly.
Yeah.
But there's no record of it. So I want to go with how you're saying is like, yeah, in order to grow from what we are as a species and a race, there would be no, and we talked about Andre the Giant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of that syndrome. This is that scenario where, you don't live past a certain age because you have issues where your body can't maintain the pattern of growth.
Yeah. For any of our viewers that are big professional wrestling fans, you can actually, unfortunately, you can trace this in real time. If you go back and watch some of Andre's early matches, especially in All Japan versus his matches in WrestleMania 4 and 5, it's like night and day. The guy was able to at one point, the guy was able to moonsault off the top turnbuckle. He was able to literally backflip onto his opponents. And then by the time you get up to WrestleMania 4 and 5, that's 10 years later, he can barely walk because his body has been unable to keep up with the rapid growth.
And it was probably also like any wrestler, like injuries.
Yeah, no, naturally, it's not a great example, but it's the one that
he was a special case
But
where
you can
he had injuries and he had his deficiency. So it was like part of the scandal for both.
It's a brutal sport.
There's a wrestler named Paul White, who originally used to go by the Big Show, who also has gigantism in that same way. And he's talked a lot about how he had to get these surgeries in order to live, in order to live past a certain age. There's a guy in the WWE right now named Omos who is about the size of Andre. And he talked about how if a doctor did not randomly see me in a basketball game and did not get curious and have me come in for testing, I would not be here right now. Yeah. Because I would have grown past the point that my body could handle.
Yeah. Well, and with Andre's case specifically, you can also look at like the Princess Bride that he was in. You can look at behind the scenes, and they actually talk about it a little bit, and they talk about how they had to reschedule a lot of scenes because he was just in general pain.
Yeah, because that was, I want to say that was a year or two before he passed away.
Yeah. It was
near the end of his life.
He had retired from the ring at that point.
Yes.
Which
great movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it, please.
It's actually my favorite movie.
It's also my favorite movie. I literally have Princess Bride stuff on my wall at home.
Yeah, but that little aspect, it's like once you see because I know you're talking about the behind the scenes, it's like, oh God, like every scene he's in, he's probably in pain.
Well, and even when you look at the scenes that, like the fight scene where he is holding someone on his back, like this guy was a professional wrestler, and had it been any other person, they probably still would have been able to do a little bit more than what he did in those scenes, but he wasn't because he was disabled.
So let's talk about Richard Kiel.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the perfect. I mean, listen, I died in 2014, right? Born in 39, died in 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Gilmore.
Yep.
Great actor. But I'm just kind of glancing through here and watching the degradation.
Yeah.
Of what he looked like all the way to the end, and that's. He lived a decent life.
Yeah.
It's not like it wasn't a good, fulfilled life. What was the suffering in between?
Yeah.
The chronic pain.
Correct.
And
he was an Happy Gilmore. So but I mean, that's kind of where we're at. That's today's version. The Andres, the Richards, he was in Bond.
Yeah.
He was the guy with the teeth, right?
He was Jaws. Yeah.
Jaws. And
holy shit, that is the same guy.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no.
Yeah, fast forward from Jaws to Happy Gilmore, which even as a kid you watch it, and he's like, why is he like leaning up up against a guy? It's like, because he can't physically stand on his own.
Stand up by himself.
Absolutely.
And he got to live for another, 15, 16 years after
said
that.
39 to 14. Yeah, so he
that's
lived
a full life.
Yeah.
Which good for him.
Yeah.
So, he was, I mean,
oh my God, he was in the To Serve Man episode of A Twilight Zone.
The Twilight Zone, yeah.
Wow,
it's been around
I had
for a long time.
No idea.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes to show you too that
it's one of my favorite episodes of The Twilight
Zone.
Oh, is that? Was he in The Longest Yard, the original one with Burt
Reynolds?
Yeah. He was Great Khali. He was Great Khali's character in the remake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Roger Moore's 007. Obviously, guns don't kill people. I kill people.
I love that shirt so much.
That's awesome.
I forgot about that.
But I mean, so he made a living on his oddity.
Yes.
And he did well with it. But anything beyond that, and I'm with T-Bone on this, it doesn't exist. Anything beyond, when you see these pictures online about the guy standing next to the giant grave, and the person to scale it, the person is the size of the finger of the skeleton. To me, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't. There's no, because if that was really the case, you wouldn't find it just on the internet. It would be just posted everywhere.
Yeah.
You'd be able to go to the enemies of T-Bone at the museum and be able to see those things.
You know what? I love museums.
I do too.
Genuinely, one of my favorite things to do when I have time.
I do.
Shout out to the Salvador Dali Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. Legitimately one of my favorite places in the world.
Mine is the Getty in LA. It's fantastic. Go there if you can.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, so I'm not going to take up too much time because I know we're running a little long.
Okay.
But I wanted to talk about sort of where we got the idea of giants, where we got the idea, because it's one of these mythological sort of crossroads where every culture has every culture has a dragon. Every culture has a second thing that I can't think of right now to make it a rule of three.
Meat bun with meat in it?
Yeah, a dumpling. Yeah. Every culture has a dumpling.
Every religion has a devil.
And then every single culture has a giant. You guys, so we're all familiar with the story of David and Goliath, yes?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Have you from the Bible?
Who do you think you're talking to right now?
Slingshot hits the guy in the forehead.
Did you read the Bible or the Bible?
Anyway,
I mean,
it doesn't.
It's a Bible. It was a Wix page.
Well-known biblical story. You ever give it a second to think about how weird it is that there's literally a giant in the Bible? You never really think about it, but like it's a folklore. Goliath is a folklore creature. Specifically, he's a creature called the Nephilim, which is like a half angel, half human hybrid. That I read a lot of really weird websites of people biblical originalists, who believe that every single thing in the Bible should be taken as fact, as not as allegory, not as a lesson, but as
metaphor.
This really
the metaphorical is.
And so there's a lot of really, really bad websites out there where they catalog historical examples of Nephilim. I didn't want to link any of them here because I didn't want
to give them credit.
Well, so listen, Nephilim, Enkium, Rephaim, Goliath.
Yeah.
These are all listed in the Bible.
Yeah.
And, and I think too, it goes back to perception of what a giant was back then. Because if that's the case, then yes, there's giants now. One of them's in the office.
Yeah.
It's based on power and how strong they were with power. And that makes them the giant, and the little man is the underdog.
Yeah.
So I think it's based on perception how it's read.
So that was kind of the question that I wanted to pose to the table before we get out of here. Is like, why do you think we always have a concept of a giant? And I think so. There is an answer that. All right, I've earned this. People are going to jump down my throat, and it's earned. The boring example. You want to?
I did this earlier, so I'm okay.
All right. Anyway. Yeah. All right, sure. I've earned that one. Is that it's easy. It's like you take a person and you make it bigger, and now you have a folklore. It's a way to make a story without having to think about it too hard. Is one theory.
Mm-hmm.
I have another, and.
Is it the theory train?
Uh-oh.
That's right. All right.
What?
Yeah. I have a theory.
Say what?
I wonder if this maybe has anything to do with the fact that man is at the top of the food chain. It is that this idea that we have no natural predators. And so in order to be safe and to teach the young ones growing up about
something bigger,
about creating a predator, and the only thing that we could think of was a bigger man, was a man that made us look small, a man that made us into the prey.
But then why not go like great white with legs? because there
were the
are
dinosaurs.
Technically on land, the only reason we're on top of our game is not because of strength; it's because of smarts, because of intellect, which is still questionable on certain facts, anyways, right? But listen, I agree. I mean, as far as something like they want to create something like us that's bigger than us, that we are now that tier down, right?
And I think that I think that what separates humans from animals, to me personally, is our belief that we are above animals. And so I think it is a sort of a fundamental arrogance of human beings that we have to believe that we are at the top. And so the only thing that can truly scare us is ourselves.
And bigger versions of
yes.
There's nothing scarier than a man.
Yeah.
I guess. Unless it's a bear, because bears will just fucking kill you.
No, I'm choosing the bear every time.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I agree. To a degree, I agree. T-Bone. I think, and listen, and I'll throw out this just because I had to participate a little bit.
Producer's pick.
Yeah.
So listen, when you see a picture like this,
oh, thank God it's not dolls.
That's gonna be
no dolls.
that's gonna be next round. So when you see the giant guy in the middle, which is obviously not real, but they wanted to, but this is a whole thing on real life human giants that still exist today. What do they consider that? Stretching upwards to 8 feet, right? 8 feet tall. Are there some people 8 feet tall? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, there's one in Alton, Illinois, the tallest person or one of the tallest people ever recorded.
So when people think giants, this is what they're thinking.
Yeah.
You see a picture like this, right? Does that, fee fi fo fum, right? It's terrorizing your town. And then the stories of, it climbing the beanstalk and then going up and ripping the golden egg. I mean, we want to believe in something other than what's real. Let's look at what's real. Sometimes that just sucks.
Yeah.
So it's nice to use the imagination. The brain is a very complex, powerful computer that we don't even understand yet. And we only use a tiny portion of it. So the belief of giants, listen, folks, if you're out there and you believe in giants, keep believing. That's fine. We're not here to poo-poo on your parade.
I'm gonna take the dartboard away from him.
But we want to let you know that there are scientific studies and other beliefs that kind of come around. Is the government in control of the giant population right next to the dragons, right next to the keep going? I don't know. Is it more real that dolls come to life at night? To me, yeah. Because that's my thing, right?
It's terrifying.
So do I want somebody to take the scary doll away from me? Please. Please do. But yeah, I think that everybody today at the table, they brought something to light. Let's go around real quick. What are your thoughts? Giants real, yes or no? Seabass.
Of course they are. I want them to be real. They'll invade us one day. They'll come back.
The Smithsonian will release them.
That's true.
Not after T-Bone.
Not after what Tyler had to say.
Just to spite us.
Real or no?
I know I'm normally the person that's like, yeah, totally. Gigantism is real. I do not think that big old giants are real. As much as it pains me to say it, no, I don't think the Smithsonian is holding anything from.
Do I even need to ask T-Bone?
Look, all I'm going to say, is I believe whatever you want, come to whatever conclusions you want, but don't use it as an excuse not to be curious about the world around you.
Correct.
That is my final, to me, the greatest sin is not being curious. And I think that whatever conclusions you come to, just make sure they're your own. Just make sure that they feel right to you, and just make sure that you're thinking about it. That's all I have to say.
100%. For me, giants, yes, I do believe in giants. Do I believe in the giants because of their size? No, I believe in giants being based on power.
Yeah.
I think that there's several giants in this world that are good and several giants that are bad. And it takes the man, right, as we talked about being scared of something greater than, it's because we are in a herd of cattle. And so therefore there are giants that scare me. So just be careful of what you think is a giant, what isn't a giant. It's okay to have a great imagination. It's okay to believe in what you want to believe. Don't hurt anybody else in the process of your path. Ladies and gentlemen, stories of the Paranow. Until next time, we bid you farewell and stay safe.
And stay curious.
That's right.